In today's mind readings, just some thoughts about idea capture. One of the things that, if you are doing your job well, if you are advancing your career and focusing on professional development and training enough, you should be having ideas about the things that you're working on at really random times. You know, when you're on the treadmill or out for a run or doing yoga or cooking dinner or in the shower. Depending on how your brain works and the level of focus and the level of commitment you have to the work that you're doing, either for yourself personally or for the company that you work for, you can have ideas happening any hour of the day. So the question then becomes, how are you capturing those ideas? A lot of folks rely on having a notepad and a pen. And when they have an idea, they keep one by their bedside and things like that. And I think it's a really important and useful way to track ideas, is have something nearby that you can jot down an idea really quickly. That, however, isn't always necessarily available to us. What I suggest doing in addition to, not separately, is either using a voice memo app on your phone or a little digital audio recorder, so that you can take notes when you have an idea. Just talk things through. Even if you have a smartwatch, for example, there are plenty of apps like reminder apps and dictation apps and voice memo apps that you can use on a smartwatch. So even if you're running on the treadmill, you can breathlessly yell into your watch, "Hey, set a reminder for citizen data scientist study for tomorrow." Your brain is kind of like a lightning storm, a thunderstorm. And all of these little things are lightning rods, right? If you only have one, a pad of paper and a pen, then when the storm's nearby, that lightning will strike and you'll be able to capture it and make use of it. But all the rest of the time, all these things are happening and then they just kind of fade away, right? The lightning never touches down and you never can capture that energy. If you've got smartwatches and phones and smart devices and things that you can just yell out in the air, your phone, your tablet, your smart TV, if you've got all these different capture points, it's like having lightning rods everywhere. And then when an idea strikes, boom, the lightning bolt touches down somewhere where it can be captured. So the question is, how many of these different things can you have around? And then how proficient are you at getting those ideas into one place or consolidating them? So one of the things I do is I have the reminders app that I use, and then my smartphone and my smartwatch. And when I'm on the treadmill or I'm in the shower or whatever, I can just sort of yell out ideas that go into either my reminders list or my to-do list. And then every day, go into those apps and move things around, put stuff in my blogging list so that if I have an idea, it doesn't get lost. The lightning doesn't strike somewhere that it then just goes away. I actually have a hard time with pen and paper writing things down. A, because I can't read my own handwriting. And B, because my brain is usually going so fast that I can't write fast enough to keep up with it, but I can dictate something really, really quickly. And again, with these smart devices, you can just say, "Hey, assistant, set a reminder for it," and immediately start talking. As soon as the idea occurs, you can funnel it to somewhere. You can get that idea out of your head and into some tangible form where you can then look at it, refine it, and things like that. Like I'm looking at my list of ideas that I've been yelling to the air, and there's a whole bunch of things in here that oh yeah, I remember what that was. I was driving down the road, saw a pothole, and wondered if I could fill that pothole with reused waste plastic instead of asphalt. Random ideas like that, but I was able to capture it. Maybe it'll become something someday, but who knows? But I was able to capture it because I had some device where I could just yell in the air and the lightning of the idea touched down and was captured. So how do you capture your ideas? How many different avenues do you have for capturing ideas? And do you have some kind of process that consolidates that gets all those things back into one spot so that you're able to make use of them? Give that some thought, and love to hear about how you capture ideas, and more importantly, how you consolidate those ideas, and how you make sure that at least something happens with them at some point. But thanks for watching.